we talked about earlier the things that Democrats are doing and some of the things that Republicans are not doing. There's this guy named Tim Gurner. Do you know who he is?
Mm-mm.
Well, he was at some conference and I can't remember what he's like the CEO of something, and I'll find out. But there's a very interesting clip of him going around today that he said some things that were pretty interesting when it came to the workforce and it came to employees. And I think this is kind of exactly why the United States needs unions. I want you to listen to what he has to say, get your reaction on this, okay?
I think the problem that we've had is that we have people decided they didn't really want to work so much anymore through COVID, and that has had a massive issue on productivity. Tradies have definitely pulled back on productivity. They have been paid a lot to do not too much in the last few years, and we need to see that change. We need to see unemployment rise. Unemployment has to jump 40, 50% in my view. We need to see pain in the economy. We need to remind people that they work for the employer, not the other way around. I mean, there's been a systematic change where employees feel the employer is extremely lucky to have them, as opposed to the other way around. So it's a dynamic that has to change. We've got to kill that attitude, and that has to come through hurting the economy, which is what the whole global, the world is trying to do. The governments around the world are trying to increase unemployment to get that to some sort of normality. And we're seeing it. I think every employer now is seeing it. I mean, there is definitely massive layoffs going off. People might not be talking about it, but people are definitely laying people off, and we're starting to see less arrogance in the employment market, and that has to continue because that will cascade across the cost balance.
Who do you think he votes for politically?
Trickle down economics.
Yeah, trickle down. He's almost, basically saying my employees will do whatever the hell I tell them, and they're lucky to be working for me. And again, that's where unions are not perfect by any means. But for the most part, for the American worker, that's exactly why we have unions. We probably would have never have had to have had unions had businesses decided at some point they know how to take advantage of their workers. Yeah. They know how to take advantage of the pay. They know how to take advantage of the conditions. And workers basically said, no, fuck that. And this guy out loud, I'm not a big fan of the sayings, saying the quiet parts out loud, but this one is as on the mark as you could possibly get.
He said it. He's like, we need more unemployment because those people are too cocky.
Right.
Fire them. He's the one that's like, he'll fire you in a minute because we'll get another one. We'll pay them less than we pay you. Bye.
Yeah.
He's not giving raises. Where is he in America? Who is he?
It sounded Australian, but he was the CEO of his own company. And again, going out, and
that's just wow.
If anybody's not mistaken, that is not the mentality of all or most of the CEOs of these major corporations and businesses, you are out of your mind. That's exactly how they want. They want heavy unemployment. They want, because they want to now recontrol things. This guy who said something that's just not true anymore said people since COVID don't want to work. I hate when people say that. It's just absolutely not true. In fact, the workforce is at the lowest unemployment rate it is, or close to now, that has ever been in the history of this country. So what they don't want is they don't want to work in your shit ass conditions anymore. And they're taking back a little bit control. And this guy obviously does not like that at all.
You know what sucks about it? He was probably given that company. He was probably born privileged, born with money. He never had to work for anyone in his life. That's the sucky part. So like the nerve of you to be like, these people are lazy. When you never had to work, he's probably never done manual labor in his life. He just sat on the board somewhere. Like, what? These people are inhumane.
And I'll tell you what else is more infuriating, because I've said this a billion times. That guy is talking to the Donald Trump voter
Yeah.
He's talking
Yes.
directly
Yes.
to them.
Yes.
And he's talking to
Yep.
you and me too. Let's
Yeah.
not mistake it. But
Yeah.
he is talking to these people who vote for people who are in the pocket
Yes.
of these people here.
Yeah.
And it just drives me nuts because I've said a billion times, if the MAGA universe,
Yeah.
I would say the non-racist ones, I don't know how many of them there are, but let's say there are some, if they were to come together and just sit down for a second and say, guys, I know there's some emotion here for you that for some reason you feel like you're being left out. You feel like the whole white nation is going away. The straight white Christian nation is going away, being stripped from you. First of all, it's not. Here's what's actually being stripped from you: your dignity, your pay. This is what's being stripped from you, not Black people or trans
Right.
people or gay people or
Right.
Muslims or Mexicans. This
Right.
is exactly what is hurting you, and you're letting it happen.
Ah, he's telling you, like, you're right. He's talking to the Trump people too, and they will never believe it. That's how Trump feels about you. He doesn't
And they're
care.
laughing at you. They're
Yeah.
laughing at you. Somewhere they are laughing.
Yeah. Give me your checkbook. Open up your checkbooks.
Yeah.
Open up your checkbooks. I always say, like, Trump has never had a life of service. How do you think that a person will serve you as the president who has never served anyone but himself in his entire life? It's illogical. It doesn't happen.
Well, like you said, he gets up, and when he speaks, there is no plan about the economy. There's no plan about healthcare. There's no plan about anything. The only thing he says in every one of his speeches is about him and how he's getting fucked by
Yeah.
Joe Biden, which again, we've said this before. The Democrats, Joe Biden, none of these people are going after Donald Trump. He is in trouble and
Yeah.
he's being charged with crimes because he did crimes.
Yeah.
It's not a political thing. That
Yeah.
is it's as clear as it could possibly be. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We're living in crazy times now.